The Garden Awakens drop has arrived, which means Minecraft's new Pale Garden biome is ready to be explored. Luckily for you, we've already found the very best seeds for the new update. We've got the biggest Pale Garden you could ever spawn in, loads of great places to build next to the new biome, plenty of woodland mansions, and the #1 most amazing spawn for the new update. Here are the top 10 best Pale Garden seeds. This seed spawns you just across the river from the biggest Pale Garden biome you'll ever find in the new update. I've seen a lot of people complaining online about how small these biomes can be. Well, you don't need to worry about this one, because it stretches to around 2,000 blocks in length. So if you just want a seed to explore this mysterious new biome, or if you'd like an infinite supply of creaking hearts, you won't get any better than this. If you're brave enough to explore this entire forest, you'll eventually stumble across loads of interesting features, like this woodland mansion, plenty of exposed lush ravines, and even some nice spots for building if you don't mind living in a house surrounded by the creaking. As soon as we found out about the Pale Garden, I was desperate to find out if a Pale Garden island would be possible, and thankfully it is. This is the best one I've seen so far, and it's just off the coast from spawn. It's definitely not the biggest, but it's a good start. The island also comes with a woodland mansion and a dense, dark forest, so it would be perfect for turning into a spooky, haunted island. After you spent the night in the island's forest, head down to the beach where you'll find a village and a nice spot to relax. You know we'll be on the hunt for an island with a bigger Pale Garden, so if you'd like to see that, make sure you subscribe. This seed spawns you way up high on a snowy slope, in one of the most beautiful mountain valleys I've ever seen. All around you there are max-height peaks, lush caves to drop into, and streams flowing down the slopes. But most importantly, there are a few Pale Garden trees scattered around the slopes too. Head through the snowy forest and you'll spot a mansion watching over a Pale Garden. Maybe you could use this as a base while you try to figure out the secrets of this new biome and its new mob, or maybe even turn it into a creaking heart factory. But if one Pale Garden isn't enough for you, then you should maybe move into this mansion instead. This seed has a woodland mansion that's just directly in between two Pale Garden biomes. If you thought mansions were scary enough before, just wait until you arrive at this one with two Pale Gardens watching over you from above. Maybe you could use this seed to test out your building skills with the new wood blocks and turn this into a Pale Woodland Mansion. As well as the mansions, we've also been on the lookout for the best Pale Garden village seeds, and this one is definitely up there. Welcome to the village of happiness and danger. This seed spawns you right next to a meadow village with a Pale Garden on one side and a cherry grove on the other. Not only is it a perfect spawn for the new update, but it's also just a great spawn in general because this village also comes with 5 blacksmiths. So hopefully, you'll have enough loot to take on the creaking right from the start. Wait for the sun to go down and go check out the Eye Blossom, Minecraft's newest flower that glows in the dark. And then, once the sun comes back up, head back through the village to hang out with the bees underneath the cherry blossom. There's even a snow biome in the distance, so this really could be the perfect winter drop seed. Still to come, we've got an even better Pale Garden village spawn seed, the most beautiful Pale Garden terrain, and the best long-term survival world for the new update. But first, here's another perfect spawn for checking out the new biome. Welcome to the Pale Lake. This seed spawns you right in front of a deep lake that is entirely surrounded by Pale Garden and mountains. The lake is mysteriously grey, just like this new forest, so maybe there's some secrets hidden at the bottom of it. But there's no chance you'll catch me swimming in there. If you want something a bit more vibrant after exploring the Pale Garden, this seed also has a large jungle to explore at spawn, and over the other side of the mountains, you can find a big cherry grove too. This seed has a large exposed cave right at spawn that contains both a woodland mansion and even a house from a village inside of the cave too. This has been one of my favourite cave seeds for a while, and now it's got even better in the new update. Only 500 blocks away from this mansion, you can find a second mansion. And right next to that second mansion, there is now a Pale Garden biome. So this seed gives you an epic spawn for building a unique base, plenty of exciting structures, and a pretty big Pale Garden to explore close by. What more could you want? If you were to ask me for the perfect long-term survival seed for the new update, this one would be high up on the list because it has loads of Pale Gardens, plenty of crazy structures, and almost every other biome you could ever want. You spawn in a huge dark forest that is almost 3,000 blocks wide. I've counted over 8 Pale Gardens in this dark forest, including this one, which is right at spawn. Just over the river from this garden you can find a village, a woodland mansion, and a giant ruined portal that has broken the mansion's roof. rise up from these incredible structures, and you'll notice this seed has amazing biome diversity. In one direction, you've got pale gardens, bamboo forests, badlands, and deserts, and in the other direction, you've got meadows, spruce forests, and ice spikes. Up next is a seed with the perfect building location for the new update. So, if you're ready to put your building skills to the test with the new pale wood and resin blocks, get ready to copy and paste this one. This seed actually spawns you directly inside of a pale garden, so you'll be thankful that the new Minecraft worlds always start off at daytime. Head on over this cool looking X-shaped river and you'll come across a huge lake almost entirely surrounded by pale garden hills. Just imagine a pale oak tower rising up from the center of the lake with the resin structures built all around the cliffs. There's so many possibilities. If you want a location close to spawn to build surrounded by the new biome, you should definitely give this one a try. This is my #1 favorite spawn for the Garden Awakens drop. This seed begins your adventure right next to a village that sits high up on a meadow, surrounded by a river all around it, mountains directly behind it, cherry grove to the left, and a pale garden to the right. You'll find it hard to come across a spawned village in a more beautiful location this close to the pale garden. And it's just an added bonus that this village, once again, has 5 blacksmiths, so you'll have plenty of loot to get off to the best start. There's even a trial chamber right underneath the village too. And if you adventure over the spawn mountains, you'll spot loads more biomes like jungle, savanna, badlands, deserts, and even another large pale garden, so this one has plenty to explore. Let me know in the comments which seed was your favorite and what you're going to build first with all the new blocks. If you'd like to check out more amazing Minecraft seeds, click on the next video on screen now.